disappointments, rejections, injustices, physical pains, and illnesses. All these misfortunes are inherent to the human condition. It doesn't matter who you are, how much you earn financially, or what material possessions you have. Inevitably, you will face devastating experiences and encounter difficult emotions. Throughout life, you will inevitably lose loved ones and also face the reality of death. How to maintain mental resilience in the face of all this? Although these universal truths often inspire fear and are frequently ignored, denial does not make them disappear. Instead, it makes us helpless and entirely vulnerable when confronted with adversity. Stoicism offers an alternative approach. It suggests proactive and anticipatory preparation for these challenging moments. By deliberately training your mind, you cultivate the inner strength necessary to endure even the most severe hardships that life can present. The collection of writings by Seneca, Letters from a Stoic, is particularly known for offering valuable insights and practical advice on how to cultivate mental strength and resilience. Lucius Annaeus Seneca was a prominent Roman philosopher, statesman, and playwright who lived in 4 before Christ to 65 after Christ. He is widely regarded as one of the key figures in the philosophy of Stoicism. He teaches individuals how to develop mental resilience, allowing them to face life's challenges with calm and composure. In this video, we present 6 ways to be mentally resilient based on Seneca's philosophy. These insights can help you develop a mindset and the tools necessary to face life's difficulties with courage and strength. But before we start, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any knowledge, as it could change your life. 1. Focus on one task at a time. Seneca says, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." Seneca's philosophy emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment and the value of full attention. Being everywhere refers to the state of continually diverting the mind, which prevents us from fully engaging and experiencing our current circumstances. This fragmented focus leads to a sense of detachment and inhibits genuine connection. In today's world, where the internet has erased boundaries, and every day we are pulled into a culture of excessive busyness, it's common for people to force their minds to juggle multiple activities simultaneously. While this may be perceived as a false increase in efficiency and productivity, it often comes at the expense of inner happiness and mental well-being. Society tends to equate involvement in multiple projects with achievement and gratification, but we should not ignore the price it exacts on our mental exhaustion and potentially total burnout. Instead, Seneca suggests focusing on one task at a time to increase productivity and reduce interruptions. For example, when we are reading, Seneca would advise us to dedicate our full attention to the text before us. By immersing ourselves in the words on the page and eliminating distractions, we can extract deeper meaning, gain a deeper understanding, and enjoy the greatest pleasure, which is the act of reading itself. This focused approach allows us to fully engage with the material, expand our knowledge, and enhance our intellectual capabilities. Similarly, in our daily lives, Seneca would encourage us to concentrate on the task at hand, whether it's work, studies, or a conversation. Engage with the material, expand your knowledge, and enhance your intellectual capabilities. By dedicating all our attention to each task, we can achieve higher quality, productivity, and fulfillment. This intentional focus enables us to avoid the pitfalls of multitasking and scattered attention, allowing significant progress and excellence in our activities. Seneca attached great importance to time management. He believed that time is a precious resource, and how we use it determines the quality of our existence. So focusing on one task at a time is essential for effective time management. Seneca recognized that attempting to juggle multiple tasks simultaneously leads to inefficiency and lack of productivity. Imagine you have an hour to organize and tidy up your house before leaving for an appointment, and shortly after starting your tasks, you stop to respond to some messages on your phone. Remember an important work email that needs urgent attention and 2 phone calls you need to make. And you also need to feed your dog. The timer on your phone rings, and your hour is up. You have 4 tasks started and none completed, and you need to leave to avoid being late for your appointment. When we allow ourselves to be pulled in multiple directions, our ability to be fully present is compromised. That's why Seneca encourages us to organize our minds and focus our attention on the task at hand. By doing this, you improve your mental health because you conserve energy, which in turn increases your productivity. As a result, you will make better use of your time while strengthening your mind against distractions. By practicing this principle, we develop greater focus and a deeper connection to the present moment. 2. Control your impulses. In Seneca's words, philosophy teaches us not to talk, but to act. It demands of every man that he live according to his own standards, that his life be not out of harmony with his words, and that, furthermore, his inner life be of one hue and not out of harmony with all his activities. Seneca discouraged excessive indulgence in impulsive desires, as he considered them potential traps for moral weakness. He believed that giving in to uncontrolled impulses could lead to harmful behaviors, unethical actions, and loss of self-control. Of all impulses, Seneca considered anger the most destructive and harmful to our well-being. He believed that anger arises from our inability to control or accept certain situations or events. Seneca believed that anger was a temporary madness that affects our sanity, and acting based on anger can have a lasting effect not only on people, but also on the environment around them. Destructive and irreversible actions driven by anger can sometimes lead to permanent damage. For example, imagine that you have been working tirelessly on a high-quality product line, but your boss rejects all the items for reasons you consider pure personal intrigue. This makes you extremely angry, leading to an argument between you two. While you may think your anger is completely justified, the action taken can result in some unhappy consequences. Once you make a decision and act on it, while being driven by anger, you can't undo it later. Furthermore, we often carry anger or frustration from one area of our life to others, exacerbating this negative impact. Imagine coming home after that difficult day at work, and your wife is upset with you for leaving a wet towel on the bed. Without realizing it, you may unleash the anger and frustration of a difficult day on her, and a mundane thing can turn into an endless argument. We have the power to change our mindset and choose healthier approaches to manage intense emotions. Seneca, in his book, Letters from a Stoic, emphasizes the transformative effects of learning philosophy. He highlights that philosophy invites us to embrace a simpler way of living in harmony with reason and nature. He provides practical methods for navigating life with a calm and serene state of mind. Seneca teaches that philosophy can help us cultivate self-control and develop introspection. By practicing self-control, we increase our ability to avoid irrational behaviors. Simultaneously, by engaging in introspection, we carefully examine the value of our impulses. This allows us to make conscious choices rather than being driven solely by the impulse of anger. An anecdote involving Seneca and Emperor Nero illustrates the correlation between philosophy and its advantageous effect on impulse regulation. According to the story, Nero once became furious with a servant who spilled food on him. In a fit of rage, Nero ordered severe punishment for the servant. Upon witnessing this outburst, Seneca intervened and seized the opportunity to impart a valuable lesson. He insisted that Nero reflect on his actions and consider if his response was in line with the teachings of philosophy. Seneca reminded Nero of the Stoic principle of self-control and advised him to temper his emotions and exercise moderation in wielding power. This incident clearly indicates Seneca's ability to use real-life situations to teach philosophy, concepts, and guide his pupil towards a more virtuous path. From this, we understand the profound importance of philosophy in freeing ourselves from the shackles of anger and unrestrained emotions. By embracing Stoicism, we gain the necessary tools to lead a more virtuous and fulfilled life. The challenge is to avoid the trap of reaction and wisely choose the clarity of action. If someone approaches us rudely and we respond with kindness, patience, and calmness, it is the action of our understanding towards others. Perhaps it would be easier, out of habit, to behave with reciprocity, returning the rudeness we receive. However, the great challenge is to cease reacting and choose to act, which will always yield better results, as it stems from balance and reflection. The transformation of our behavior will occur gradually and be the result of disciplined thinking. 3. Be prepared. Quoting Seneca, rehearse them in your mind. Exile, torture, war, shipwreck, all the terms of our human lot should be before our eyes. Seneca often discussed the concept that everything in life is borrowed, including our possessions, relationships, and even our physical bodies. Recognizing this truth allows us to reduce our attachment to external things and focus more on the present moment. For example, let's imagine a scenario where you own a beautiful house that holds great significance to you. By meditating on the fact that this house is borrowed and could potentially be lost or destroyed, you can detach yourself from material goods and find contentment in the present. Instead of constantly striving for more or worrying about the potential loss of what you have, this practice of negative visualization, emphasized by Seneca, helps cultivate mental strength and resilience. Negative visualization involves purposefully contemplating and imagining the worst-case scenarios or imagining the loss of something important to us. Engaging in this exercise not only promotes gratitude for our current possessions, but also prepares us mentally and emotionally for the adversities life may present. Consider, for instance, your car. To engage in negative visualization, take a moment to imagine the possibility of losing or parting with it. Visualize scenarios where you sell it, it gets stolen, or you must voluntarily donate it. By vividly imagining these situations, allow yourself to experience the associated emotions and reflect on a life without that possession. Furthermore, negative visualization can be applied to various aspects of life, including relationships, health, professional success, and so on. For example, you can contemplate the potential strain in a beloved relationship, the challenges of dealing with a health issue, or setbacks and failures you may encounter in your career. By dedicating 5 to 10 minutes each morning to reflect on these worst-case scenarios, you can incorporate this practice into your routine. You can also use negative visualization to confront your own mortality. Seneca believed that by imagining our own death, we gain a powerful perspective on the transient nature of life. This practice reminds us that our time is limited and encourages us to live with purpose and mindfulness. When we imagine our own mortality, we acknowledge the brevity and fragility of our existence. It helps shift our focus away from trivial matters and petty concerns, redirecting our attention to what truly matters. By contemplating our mortality, we develop a sense of urgency to pursue our passions, nurture our relationships, and contribute to the world. It encourages us to value experiences over material possessions and fosters gratitude for the present moment. We learn to appreciate the people and opportunities in our lives and face challenges with resilience and determination. Engaging in the mental exercise of negative visualization and proactively preparing for challenging situations not only fosters gratitude for what you have, but also allows you to take proactive measures to prevent them. It also prepares you to deal with them effectively if they arise. This practice promotes a mindset of preparedness and adaptability, strengthening your confidence and stance in the face of life's uncertainties. 4. Embrace difficulties willingly. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, just as labor does the body." Despite his immense wealth in the Roman Empire, Seneca intentionally adopted a lifestyle that resembled poverty. He set aside a few days each month to wear simple clothing and consume minimal food. This practice was not driven by financial necessity, but rather to moderate his desire for material possessions and fleeting pleasures. Seneca sought to deepen his appreciation for what he already possessed and, more significantly, to develop the courage needed to face future challenges. This Stoic technique, known as voluntary suffering, involves intentionally seeking and embracing challenges that push us beyond our comfort zones. It is a powerful method for strengthening the mind. Seneca likened this to physical labor that strengthens the body. Just as physical effort challenges and strengthens our muscles, voluntarily embracing difficulties and hardships provides mental training. By embracing challenges and willingly facing discomfort, we promote resilience, discipline, and gratitude, developing a mindset that thrives in the face of life's adversities. To illustrate how voluntary difficulties can be practiced, consider an individual afraid of public speaking, a common source of anxiety. Instead of avoiding situations involving public speaking, this person decides to confront their fear through voluntary difficulties. They actively seek opportunities to speak in public, such as joining a local group or volunteering to give presentations at work. Initially, the idea of public speaking may provoke discomfort and apprehension. However, by voluntarily subjecting themselves to this challenge, they begin to build strength and courage. With each speech they deliver, they push the boundaries of their comfort zone, learning to cope with anxiety, improving their communication skills, and building resilience in the face of potential setbacks. Through this practice, by willingly embracing the difficulties of public speaking, they diminish the grip of fear and expand their capacity to handle future challenges. It is important to note that voluntary difficulties can be practiced even in the absence of specific fears. For example, you can go outside without a jacket in winter, turn off the air conditioning at home or in the car, take cold showers, occasionally fast, or sleep without a pillow. The key is to actively choose discomfort and challenges that stretch our limits and test our resilience. By deliberately opting to confront challenges and discomfort, we engage in mental training that builds resilience, discipline, and gratitude for the abundance we possess. By actively practicing voluntary difficulties, we prepare our minds and bodies for unforeseen and challenging situations, realizing that many things we once feared are not as daunting as they seemed. 5. Avoid self-victimization. According to Seneca, man is not affected by events but by the view he takes of them. Seneca emphasized the importance of the dichotomy of control and the concept of amor fati to avoid falling into a victim mentality. The dichotomy of control refers to the distinction between things that are within our control and those that are not. Seneca believed that while external events and circumstances are beyond our control, we have the power to control our own thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. This distinction allows us to focus our energy and attention on what is truly within our control. Amor fati, which means love of fate, is a Stoic mindset that encourages individuals to embrace and accept every moment of their lives, regardless of how challenging or difficult it may be. Instead of trying to escape or resist these circumstances, amor fati encourages loving and appreciating them, recognizing that they offer opportunities for growth, learning, and personal development. In today's world, it is very easy to adopt a self-victimizing mentality, taking no responsibility for anything or any of your results. Attributing negative meanings to people's responses or inconvenient situations can sink us into a quicksand of self-pity, especially in the current era where social media platforms wield significant influence. Many unwittingly fall victim to believing everything they see, especially the widely promoted false happiness and success. You must have seen perfect relationships portrayed on the internet that ended in divorce, just as investors or fake entrepreneurs who rented cars and houses to sell courses. By confusing social media with reality, we risk comparing ourselves to these forged representations, which can foster doubt and a sense of victimization. To illustrate Seneca's teachings, consider an example. Imagine that you worked diligently and aspired to a promotion in your company. However, when the time comes, someone else is promoted instead of you. Initially, you may experience a sense of betrayal or injustice, blaming your superiors for this decision. This initial reaction stems from a victim mentality, where you perceive yourself as a passive recipient of circumstances beyond your control. However, Seneca would advise not to dwell on these negative emotions and, instead, encourage the application of the principles of the dichotomy of control and amor fati. By understanding that your superior's decision is beyond your control, you can redirect your focus to what you can control: your thoughts, attitudes, and actions. Instead of adopting a victim stance, you can choose to adopt a more rational and empowered perspective. By embracing amor fati, you can see your colleague's promotion as an opportunity for self-reflection and personal growth. It provides an opportunity to reassess your skills, seek feedback, and develop new strategies for your future advancement. Instead of harboring resentment or blaming others, you can accept the situation as it is, and you can learn from it, redirecting your efforts toward personal improvement. Through the application of the dichotomy of control and the acceptance of amor fati, Seneca believed that we can escape the role of victims in the face of external circumstances. We can change our mindset from passivity and self-pity to empowerment and resilience. Seneca's teachings serve as a reminder that our internal responses and attitudes are within our control, and by accepting and valuing every aspect of our fate, we can discover strength and meaning even when confronted with challenges. 6. Spend time in solitude. In our final quote from Seneca for this video, he says, "Withdraw into yourself as much as possible." Seneca emphasizes the importance of spending some time in solitude as a way to strengthen oneself mentally. Seneca believed that by distancing oneself from external distractions and immersing oneself in solitude, individuals can engage in introspection, self-reflection, and personal growth. It is in solitude that we have the opportunity to confront our thoughts, emotions, and internal struggles, promoting self-awareness and clarity. We have a video on the power of silence where we delve even deeper into the benefits of being quiet. I'll leave it in the first pinned comment. To practice solitude, it is possible to regularly set aside dedicated time for oneself. This can mean engaging in activities that promote introspection and self-reflection, such as journaling, meditating, or simply taking long walks in nature. By intentionally disconnecting from the noise and demands of the external world, individuals can create space for deep thinking, self-discovery, and self-improvement. For example, imagine a busy professional who spends most of their time in a bustling work environment, constantly surrounded by people and performing various tasks. By consciously setting aside specific periods of solitude, such as evenings, this individual can create a quiet space for self-reflection. During this time, they can reflect on their values, goals, and areas of personal development. They can use the solitude to gain clarity on their priorities, assess their emotions and thoughts, and contemplate their actions and decisions. Through regular practice, they cultivate mental strength, resilience, and a deeper understanding of themselves. Seneca believed that spending time in solitude allows individuals to recharge their minds, gain valuable insights, and cultivate inner strength. It provides an opportunity for self-examination and personal growth, leading to a more fulfilled life. One valuable activity you can engage in during moments of solitude to strengthen your mindset is continuous learning and expanding your intellectual knowledge or skills. You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. And if you like this content, don't forget to share it with someone who might need it. Help us spread this amazing knowledge. Now, if you want to understand a bit more about Stoicism, just click on one of the videos that's appearing on your screen. Thank you for watching.